SARC International Conference on Development of Museums in South Asia, Curating Culture for Present and Future, organized by the SARC Cultural Center in collaboration with the Department of National Museums, Sri Lanka. I take great pleasure in announcing the arrival of our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Jagat Balasurya, Minister of National Heritage, Sri Lanka, and our keynote speaker, Dr. Nanda Vikram Singha, Secretary, Ministry of National Heritage, Sri Lanka. In keeping with ancient Sri Lankan tradition, it is now time to light the traditional oil lamp. I kindly call upon our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Jagat Balasurya, to light the traditional oil lamp. Invite Honorable Dr. Jagat Balasurya, our chief guest, Dr. Nanda Vikram Singha, our keynote speaker, Mr. G.L.W. Samrasingha, Director, SARC Cultural Center, Ms. Tanuja Vetta Singha, Director, Department of National Museum, and Dr. Sanjay Garg, Deputy Director, Research, SARC Cultural Center, to please come on stage to the head table. Thank you. I kindly invite Mr. G.L.W. Samrasingha, Director, SARC Cultural Center, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Balasurya, Minister of National Heritage, Sri Lanka. Ambassador for Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. Ambassador for Maldives in Sri Lanka. Deputy High Commissioner for Pakistan in Sri Lanka. All other members of the diplomatic corps. Director General SARC Division, Minister of External Affairs, Sri Lanka. Distinguished delegates, Ms. Nanda Vikram Singha, I forgot that. Ms. Nanda Vikram Singha, Dr. Nanda Vikram Singha, Secretary, Minister of National Heritage, Director, Museums, distinguished delegates from member states, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and privilege today to welcome you for this very important occasion, the inauguration of the International Conference on Development of South Asian Museums under the theme of Curating Culture for Present and Future, organized by the SARC Cultural Center, Colombo, in collaboration with the Department of Museums, Sri Lanka. I am happy that delegates from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Sri Lanka attended here for this conference. Culture Center, which is the only regional center in Sri Lanka under the SAARC organization, has been engaged in implementing programs for promotion of cultural cooperation, for bringing the people of South Asia closer, to project the distinctive cultural heritage of the region. In this respect, SAARC Cultural Center has been conducting programs in Sri Lanka and other member states related to culture to achieve its mandated objectives. That process gives opportunities for the people of the region to develop cultural relations for their benefits. By organizing this conference on development of museums in South Asia, first time in Sri Lanka, SAARC Culture Center is trying to provide a platform for scholars who are engaged in handling subjects related to museology in South Asia to review all the aspects of the subject. The museum is a place where whole civilization in any country brings under one roof, and it plays an important role in giving exposition to the country's rich heritage. This conference on South Asian museums is aimed at better development of museums in the South Asian region. So we have gathered here these 3 days and review all important aspects with regard to the international scenario and the development of museums. Finally, at the end of the conference, we will be trying to make some positive recommendations to be made to the member states for implementation in their countries. That will be the final outcome of this international conference. Today, for this very important conference, we are very proud that Honorable Bharat Basuri, Minister of National Heritage, Sri Lanka, has come here to grace this occasion as the chief guest. We appreciate his presence for this historic event on South Asian museums taking place in Colombo, Sri Lanka. And also, I would like to pay my gratitude for all the governments of the states, all high commissions and embassies of the states in Colombo, SAARC Secretariat, Kathmandu, Ministries of External Affairs and National Heritage, Sri Lanka, Department of Museums and other institutes and individuals for the assistance given for organizing this event. Dr. Nanda Vikram Singh and Sandhya Aspire Sri Lanka, who was working with us since the commencement of the process of organizing this conference. They were leading role as a collaborative partner, and I express my special appreciation to her, to them and their staff for their assistance. Finally, while welcoming you once again, I invite all participants here to give your utmost contribution at the sessions of the conference to come up with a useful outcome for the benefit of the people of South Asia. That is what we expect finally from this international conference, and I would like to express my appreciation to all delegates from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka for kind taking of time from their busy schedule and traveling out of the region to attend to this conference, and I wish you were happy and pleasant stay in Colombo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now kindly call upon Dr. Nanda Vikram Sinha, Secretary, Ministry of National Heritage, Sri Lanka, a distinguished public servant of the country who has served in numerous capacities, including that of Director and Assistant Commissioner, Department of Archaeology, and more recently as the Director, Department of National Museums, to deliver the keynote address. Good morning. Honorable Dr. Bharat Basuri, Minister of National Heritage, Director, SAARC Cultural Center, Mr. Sanjay SARC Cultural Secretary, Dr. Sanjay Gar, Director National Museum, Mrs. Sanuja Kasturia, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the SARC Cultural Center, Mr. Sandra Singh, and the organizing committee for inviting me to deliver the keynote speech. In my speech, I wish to touch on the museum collection, museum education, and museum training. Museums are now widely recognized as vital agencies of educational and cultural development and powerful public instruments of contemporary cultural formation. These institutes are not only some of the most effective repositories of cultural and natural heritage, they are also amongst the most powerful educators in the promotion of awareness and experience of that heritage. There is now a worldwide trend to build and develop museums. During the last 2 decades, we have seen an exponential expansion in the numbers, scope and character of museums everywhere in the world, unparalleled in any other period of museum history. I also think the museum experience is becoming increasingly collaborative. Museums should become more comfortable with letting audiences have a say, and again technology can facilitate this. This kind of interactive experience should be the key building platform. I also think the museum experience is becoming increasingly collaborative. Museums should become more comfortable with letting audiences have a say, and again technology can facilitate this. This kind of interactive experience should be the key building platform in the development of modern museums. It is actually not too hard to imagine, with the rise of a BYOD culture, that is bring your own device, users and visitors are more and more likely to be carrying computer devices into a museum or venue. Countless numbers of smartphones and tablets must pass through museum doors every day, hidden in the pockets, purses and bags of visitors. Some museums are already exploiting their tech-savviest audience members, such as the Imperial War Museum in the UK. But then again, we have to be careful in such adaptations, because rushing ahead to dress up our museums for a more personal and connected experience, we risk neglecting those who don't own a tablet or smartphone. Another aspect that we need to look into considering the development of museums in the modern world is the opening time. Why should museums and galleries close at 5:30? Why is it only possible for most of us to only see things at the weekend? It seems to me that museums suffer because they are not seen in the same light as theatres, cinemas, concerts, restaurants, etc. in terms of a destination for free time or entertainment. Whereas they should be the ideal place for such entertainment, which could cater the entire family. Tapping into a market of working professionals who leave work at the museum door closed could not only increase footfall and sales, but might also have a positive effect on how the wider public view museums as a whole, and the effect it could have on one's values and heritage. By opening up the space into sociable and after-work hours, the museum becomes an entertainment hotspot. As you all know, worldwide museums are established for the purpose of collection, conservation, education, research and enjoyment. Now I will move to museum collection. Many museums have storerooms full of objects that were acquired in the past without due thought. Hence, it is important to have a
written policy on acquisition of objects. Such policy makes it clear to staff, visitors and donors what you will accept and what you are looking for. The museum mission statement, description of the collections, types of objects to be collected and acquisition procedure should be included in the policy. Developing an acquisition policy is essential to maintaining a well-functioning museum. Another key important aspect in collection management is the use of IT, in which the West was the pioneers. The earliest museum automation traces to the late 1960s, when the West used mainframe IBMs to give museum staff access to collection information. Collection management systems were designed around the needs of back office staff who were continually editing data records about museum objects. Many are stale, ugly, yet highly functional legacy systems that run on an old Windows PCs, saving data on a server which the museum keeps in a broom closet. Since the late 1990s and the growth of the internet, collection management software had a new job to also make collections available to museum users. The challenge was that the server in the broom closet was not designed to host millions of hits from the internet. So vendors created separate web modules. Unfortunately, this is one area that Sri Lankan museums direly lag behind. Museum education. Museums do not speak for themselves, they speak for us, expressing in their silent language concepts, feelings and ideas we would like to say ourselves, but have no words. What we in fact have in the museum can be compared with Diderot's metaphor for the encyclopedia, a machine for making stockings. A whole process into where you feed raw material and stockings emerging at the end. What we feed into our museums at the beginning of the raw material of culture, such as objects, stones, textiles, specimens, will emerge as the sign of culture, ready to be used in different ways for different means. Museum education should not be a teaching process, but a learning process. It should be an apprenticeship and experiment on how the stockings, or rather the signs of culture, are produced and how they can be used to enrich and entertain our minds. As museum professionals, our task then is to facilitate people to learn how to use the museum machine so that they could read the world without the needs of words. Museum education is no longer limited to a simple guided tour for school. My belief is that education is never a secondary function of a museum. Of course, collection and conservation of objects relating to our natural and cultural heritage and research on these subjects remain fundamental to the mission of museums. But the information so acquired remain valueless unless it is made available to the world community. Training and museum professional development. By professional development, I mean helping students and emerging museum professionals become more thoughtful museum thinkers and makers. I am thinking about learning to think more critically and creatively about both one's niche within the museum world and the larger system of the museums. Much of the writing on museum theory and practice can contribute, of course, to professional development, but no number of how-to articles or books contextualizing contemporary museum exhibitions and programming is sufficient in itself. The difference between learning how to do something in a museum context and developing oneself professionally within the museum field is frequently vast. It is the difference between reading an article on how to grow tomatoes and reading a book like Food Not Lawns and planning a suburban or suburban garden that recycles resources via a system of ponds, swales, compost heaps, and seed preservation. Rapid changes in the cultural and economic environment in which museums have no function require rapid adaptation by members of museum staff. All those in positions of authority are being required to develop business management skills, while all staff meeting the public must develop improved skills in visitor service. The most effective professional development takes place within systems and networks. In my experience, the best professional development frequently happens spontaneously. According to research done by John F. Kennedy University's graduate program in museum studies, the professional development is sevenfold. 1. Professional development must be anchored to learning objectives. 2. Conversations are essential to professional development. 3. Effective professional development stimulates more creative and critical thinking. 4. Professional development allows individuals to create their own networks by introducing them to network nodes in their areas of interest. 5. The best professional development has both online and face-to-face components. 6. Professional development should be viral. 7. The best professional development makes space for evaluation. I assume my effort in trying to explain the key highlights of development of modern museums was fruitful. How museums also must evolve with part of the surrounding world. As the famous saying goes, absence of evidence is evidence of absence. So as museum professionals, we must be proud that we are the ones who preserve and showcase the evidence of yesterday's present. I wish you a pleasant day and successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vikram Singha. I kindly call upon our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Jagat Balasuriya, to address the gathering.
Good morning to everybody, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners of SAARC countries, members of Diplomatic Corps, Mr. G.L.D. Samarasinghe, Director, SAARC Cultural Center, and Deputy Director, Dr. Sanjay Lal, and their colleagues, distinguished invitees, participants, and Director, our museum, Tanya Kasraj. First of all, I wish to extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Samarasinghe, Director, SAARC Cultural Center, Sri Lanka, for inviting me to be present here today. SAARC Cultural Center has organized a very important international conference on development of museums in South Asia. Curating culture for present and future along with the technical sessions for presentation of research papers. Furthermore, the conference invited young researchers to participate in the poster sessions to showcase their research. A museum is not merely a storehouse of the past, but an active educational center that both presents and explores material, cultural in their contextual framework. In this sense, the mandate of a museum extends beyond the displaying artifacts to that of shaping knowledge. Through traditionally, the museums were assigned the duty of exhibiting objects of historical value. Today, their outlook is increasingly changing to serve as knowledge hubs, catering to wider audience. Along with this digital revolution, there has been a drastic change in the management, administration, networking, and outreach of the museum. Each of these areas is today defined by the technical advancement and technological improvements. As a result of information revolution, museums face multiple changes that include but are not limited to democratizing access to their collection, digitizing information and preserving invaluable material. The South Asian Museum are not no exception. Museum is our part of the world face the same issues as their Western counterparts and are seldom able to address these mainly due to lack of expertise required to adapt to these changing digital realities, institutional constraints, and low level of general awareness about the changing role of museums in the 21st century. As a Minister of National Heritage, I am especially happy about this conference and other associate activities organized by the SARC Cultural Center, Colombo, in collaboration with the Department of National Museum, Sri Lanka, which is under my ministry. It is very important to share findings of their discoveries with the other nations. This conference will provide a platform to share their findings and experiences. I know the SARC Cultural Center is always dedicated to protect and promote cultural heritage. They organize seminars, workshops, training programs, exhibitions for this purpose for the SARC countries. This is one of the valuable steps taken forward to explore the feasibility of evolving a vision document for South Asian museums. I am sure that this conference will definitely help to promote further research on development of museums in our region as South Asian people are having a rich heritage. I congratulate SARC Cultural Center on this remarkable initiative and wish the conference a success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Final item on our agenda is the vote of thanks by Ms. Apsara Karunaratne, Research Assistant, SARC Cultural Center, Sri Lanka.
Members of the diplomatic corps, delegates from the SARC member countries, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the SARC Cultural Center, it gives me great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks at the inaugural session of the SARC International Conference on Development of Museums in South Asia, Curating Culture for Present and Future. Since the SARC Cultural Center started functioning in 2009, it has come a long way and has been playing an important role in bringing together the countries of the SARC region. Almost every month, SARC Cultural Center organizes various forms of programs such as research seminars, conferences, cultural and literary festivals, artist camps, symposiums, workshops, and film festivals to further tighten the bonds of the SARC countries. With a will to share in new developments in the management, administration, and research in various cultural sectors, archaeology, archives, museums, and historical architecture, the SARC Cultural Center has drawn an elaborate program to organize international conference on an identified theme on an annual basis. Thus, in 2012, the Center had organized SARC International Conference on Archaeology of Buddhism, Recent Discoveries in South Asia, and in 2013, it organized SARC International Conference on Development of Archives in South Asia, the Future of Archives, and archives in the future. This conference is therefore the third in sequence of international conferences organized by the SAC Cultural Center. It gives me great pleasure to thank all those who directly or indirectly have assisted in organizing this conference. It is time to pay our undivided gratitude and acknowledge the contribution of many who made this event possible. On behalf of the SAC Cultural Center, let me first of all thank our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Jagat Balasurya, Minister of National Heritage, Government of Sri Lanka, for being with us today at the inaugural ceremony of SAC International Conference on Development of Museums in South Asia. We thank him not only for his presence with us today, but also for providing his patronage for all our activities. We also thank the keynote speaker, Dr. Nanda Vikramasinghe, Secretary, Ministry of National Heritage, for her scholarly keynote address, the full text of which you will find in the Book of Abstracts. We thank the Ministries of National Heritage and Cultural Affairs and Arts, Government of Sri Lanka for their help and support. We thank the state nominees to the conference. We are convinced that your presentations and interactive dialogue would enhance the learning process and draw us closer to the objectives of the conference. We also believe that your active commitment will go beyond the deliberations at this conference and help in protecting and developing museums in South Asia. It was possible to organize this conference thanks to the cooperation that we received from the SAC member states. We thank the governments of Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Sri Lanka for sending their official delegations for this conference. We also owe our gratitude to all embassies, High Commissions and Sub-Divisions of Ministry of External Affairs for securing these official nominations. Quite a few amongst those present here have come on their own. We appreciate their commitment and thank each one of them for being present at this conference. We also appreciate the role of SAC Secretariat in Kathmandu in coordinating the member states and are grateful to His Excellency Arjun Bahadur Thapa, Secretary General of SAC, and other Secretariat staff for their cooperation. We thank the Vice Chancellor, University of Sri Javagadalpura, for providing the media coverage to the entire event, and Mr. Manoj Upashanta for helping us in this regard. The Central Cultural Fund and its Director, Professor Gamini Adhikari, and Dr. Senarat Disanayaka, Director General, Department of Archaeology, for allowing free access to the heritage site of Anuradhapura for the participants of the conference. We thank our friends from the media, both print and electronic, especially the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, for giving a wide coverage to this event, and hope that their cooperation will continue in future as well. We thank the collaborator of this conference, the Department of National Museums, and a very special note of appreciation goes to Ms. Sanuja Kasturiarachi, Director, Colombo National Museum, for her crucial role as the co-convener of the conference, and her entire staff for giving their support and for coordinating all the activities from the part of the National Museum. Finally, I would like to thank our director, Mr. G.L.W. Samarasinghe, the founder director of the SAC Cultural Center, for his leadership, guidance and support. On behalf of the director, I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Garg, the head of research, the brainchild of this conference, who has always been a beacon of inspiration in our endeavors and patiently guiding his team in making this a reality. Ms. Soundari David Rodrigo, Deputy Director Program, and Mr. Karma T. Ranchu for their support and assistance. Mr. Kirti Gunatilaka, our Administrative Officer, and Ms. Yenuka Senadipati for the support in organizing the logistics. Mr. Mahinda Sumanasekara, Documentation Officer, for handling the media and the press. Mr. Kalun Darshana Bandara, Finance Officer for handling the finances, Mr. Ishan Amaravira, Computer Operations Officer for designing the conference materials and uploading information, conference materials and uploading the information on the web. Ms. Shantini Rajgopalan for all the secretarial assistants. Our efficient and diligent team of interns, Ms. Oshadi Lekamasan, Ms. Chandini Mekmini, Ms. Melanie Malavarachi for all the hard work. Our PMs and drivers, Mr. Nalin, Mr. Deepar, Mr. Ajit, Mr. Lakina and Mr. Chandana. I'm grateful to each and everyone at SARC Cultural Center for all their efforts and for the great team spirit. We are thankful to all those present here for your participation. Without you, this event would not have been what it is now. We thank you for your participation and we wish you all a pleasant, successful and insightful experience. We hope to take back memories, friendship and above all, a revived commitment to protect the cultural heritage of South Asia.